What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be featuring the new ghost cards that we'll be getting in Battles of Legends Monstrous Revenge, along with our little friend Assault Synchron here, which will be put in a lot of decks moving forward. But before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated, as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Clicking on those notification bells would also mean a lot, as they notify you when I upload on the channel. So the Ghost Wyvern is the first of the ghost cards, and this one reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Ghost Fusion from your deck to your hand. During the end phase, if this card is currently banished and was banished this turn, you can take one level 2 or lower zombie tuner from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Hellfire Dragon Ghost Wyvern once per turn. Then there's the Assault Synchron, which during your main phase you can special summon this card from your hand, then take 700 damage. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Synchro monsters, and while this card is face up in the monster zone. If a face-up dragon synchro monsters you control is tributed or banished, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of those monsters, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Assault Synchron once per turn. Now, for this combo, I want to show off how the ghost cards that read like they don't do so much, they actually do lead to some interesting combos, as we'll be adding ourselves the Ghost Fusion. And the Ghost Fusion reads that you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck, using only zombie monsters you control as fusion material. If your life points are lower than your opponent, you can also banish one zombie monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard as material. You can only activate one Ghost Fusion per turn. So the trick with this deck is losing your life points so that you can activate Ghost Fusion and send something or banish something from your deck, so that you don't have to bother with having the materials already on board or whatever. But we're going to activate our Assault Synchron from hand, losing the 700 life points, and this will give us the life point deficit that we need for Ghost Fusion. But we're going to go into Immortal Dragon first, send our Mizuki. Now we can activate the Ghost Fusion, and I'm going to show off the first of two ways that you can do this combo. The first way is with the Speary, and then from here we'll be able to get rank 6 access, as we do have the Garura on board now because of the Ghost Fusion. And then from here we can use the Speary in order to send the Unizombie, and now we'll go into our Beatrice, which from here we can activate the Beatrice, send the Garura along with the Mizuki, get a draw 1, and we get a Monster Reborn off the second Mizuki as well. So we'll be able to bring back our Unizombie, use its effect in order to send a card from our deck to the graveyard. As long as it's a zombie, we'll send the Necroworld Banshee, and then from there we'll activate the Necroworld Banshee, as we'll activate the Mizuki now, bring back the Garura, and then from here we can go into a level 10 Synchro. Now do keep in mind, if you wanted to go into a level 8 Synchro or a rank 4, that opportunity was there, as we do have the Banshee banished, and we just could have done that before getting our Zombie World, but because we went into our Baron, we didn't need it, and I also wasn't going to use anything that we draw in hand, so that I can keep the combo true to the two cards in hand. Now for the second combo, and we'll be starting with the same exact cards, except we're going to go an entirely different way about this, and we're going to start here by normal summoning the Wyvern, get ourselves the Ghost Fusion, activate the Assault Synchron. From here we can then go into our Immortal Dragon again. We'll then use the Immortal Dragon, this time around sending the Mizuki, and then from here we can activate the Mizuki, getting back our Ghost Wyvern. Then we can activate the Ghost Fusion, which will allow us to go into our Drago Necro Nethersoul, as our Immortal Dragon is also level 2, and this time around we will banish the Unizombie, and because the fusion is a dragon, we can now go into our Dispatter. Then we can activate the Dispatter to get back our Unizombie, then use the Unizombie effect in order to send another copy of Mizuki, and then from here the world is really your oyster, as you have a lot of stuff that you can do, whether it be a rank 4, a link 2, a Synchro 8, but we are going to go into a Synchro 8 so that we can get back the Assault Synchron used earlier, then go into our Baron, giving us the Dispatter plus the Baron as our end board. Now for this next combo, I'll be doing Assault Synchron plus Mizuki, and I kind of want to show more of the combinations that this deck has, because the deck isn't really too easy to play, and there are a lot of routes that you can go with your plays, and I showed the first two because they take the same two cards and they end in such different places, but really you can do that with a lot of the cards in this deck, as I'm going to be sending the Ghost Wyvern, bring back the Ghost Wyvern with the Mizuki, and then from here we can activate the Ghost Wyvern, get ourselves the Ghost Fusion, activate the Ghost Fusion. From here we can either go into our Garura or the Drago Necro, and this is where I say that it really depends on what you want to do. We'll then be able to go into our Dispatter, use the effect of Dispatter to get back the Unizombie, use the Unizombie in order to send ourselves another copy of Mizuki, and then from here we can can bring back Ghost Wyvern off of the Mizuki, as we'll then be able to get rank 4, link 2, or Synchro 8 access, and the Synchro 8 access, as you saw before, also happens to be Synchro 10 access. Now, for this next one, and I want to show any level 4 with Assault Synchron in this deck, because we do play a fair amount of level 4s, so I'm just going to use the Agido along with the Assault Synchron, go into our Immortal Dragon, use the Immortal Dragon to send the third new card, the Sleeping Beauty, and this one reads that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Ghost Fusion from your deck to your hand. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, discard 1 card, then target one of your banished level 4 or higher zombie monsters, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Ghost Sleeper once per turn. So from here we'll be able to get our Ghost Fusion, and because we used the Assault Synchron earlier, we're already lower on life points, so now we can go into our Garura, and this time we actually do have to go into the Garura because we don't have the ability to revive anything off of Mizuki this time around, so we're just going to use the level 6 zombie there, sending the Mizuki. We can then go into our Beatrice, the Beatrice can then detach the Garura, sending the Unizombie. We'll then get a draw 1 as the Mizuki can bring back the Unizombie. We will not be using that Assault Synchron, as we're then going to use the effect of the Unizombie, sending the Mizuki, getting back the Ghost Sleeper. Now we can use the Unizombie to pitch the Assault Synchron or whatever else you draw, and then from there you can go into your Axel, which the Axel can then bring back the original Assault Synchron that you used in order to go into your Dispatter or your Baron. And I show the Dispatter because if you do happen to have another extender, you have a target that you can bring back that you can maybe even make more synchro plays with. Now for this next combo, we'll be doing Ghost Wyvern plus Instant Fusion, and this is just yet another card that loses life points. And from here we're going to activate the Instant Fusion, bring out the Mud Dragon, and I'd like to point out that Mud Dragon actually has multi-purpose in this deck, as you'll see later on, but we're going to activate the Ghost Fusion. From here we can then send the Speary, as we'll be able to banish the Ghost Wyvern, bring back the Speary, and then from here we can use the Speary to send the Mizuki, go into our Beatrice, and then from here we can activate the Beatrice, detaching Garura, sending the Unizombie, and then from there we can get a draw, as we'll be able to bring back the Unizombie off of the Mizuki. From here we can use the effect of the Unizombie, as we'll be able to send the Shinobi Necro. From here we can go into our Axel, as we'll be able to revive the Shinobi Necro, and this will give us the Baron access this way. Now for the next combo, and this is yet another engine that we're running with this deck, and we're going to start here by activating the 3 Italias. We'll be able to get ourselves the Xiamen, use the Xiamen in order to get a search for the Foxy Tune, use the Foxy Tune, which will pitch the Ghost Sleeper, and now we can get the search off of Ghost Sleeper for the Ghost Fusion as we get the Deer Note. And now we'll go into our Omega, use the effect of Deer Note to bring back the Foxy Tune, and now you're going to see another important interaction that this deck has with the P.U.N.K engine, which is where we're going to go into the Zombie Vampire, and the Zombie Vampire happens to be a zombie monster, and we're lower on life points than our opponent. And I'm not going to use the Mill 5 because I don't want to dilute the combo with any RNG, so you do get a Mill 5 plus a potential special summon off this. I'm just not going to use it. And then from here we're going to send or banish our Speary, as we'll bring out our Garura, and then from here we can banish the Zombie Vampire to bring out our Speary, use the Speary in order to send the Mizuki. From here we can go into our Beatrice, we'll activate the Beatrice, attaching the Garura, sending the Unizombie. From here we'll get a draw 1 along with the revival of the Unizombie off of the Mizuki, and then from there we can use the Unizombie's effect, which will allow us to send a card from our deck to the graveyard as long as it's a zombie, which will send the Mizuki, and then from there we'll bring back the Ghost Sleeper. We'll be able to pitch the card in our hand that we drew in order to make the Ghost Sleeper level 4, and then from here we can use the Omega's effect, putting back the Deer Note or whatever else you want so that you can go into your Omega again, give you a level 8 Synchro as an option, or you also have rank 4 or a link 2. Now for the penultimate combo, and I want to show basically the same combo but this time with a Bystial, and it's just any Bystial, you don't need Magna Hut, as we'll go into our Xiamen, use the Xiamen's effect to get ourselves the Foxy Tune. From here we can activate the Foxy Tune, pitching the Ghost Sleeper, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Deer Note and the Ghost Fusion, and then from here we'll be able to go into our Omega, and then from here we'll activate the Deer Note, getting ourselves back the Foxy Tune, as we'll go into our Zombie Vampire. Now again, I'm not going to use the Zombie Vampire's effect. You can when you're in an actual match, of course. But we'll go into our Spiridow, as we'll then be able to bring out our Garura, use the effect of the Spiridow in order to banish the Zombie Vampire and get itself back, as we'll then use the Speary in order to send the Mizuki, and now from here we can go into our Beatrice. So as I said, it's very repetitive. There's just a lot of different ways that you can get there, and it's not not very conventional methods that you would take in getting there in regards to playstyle. It definitely took a little bit longer to find these lines, how it feels to get for other decks, but we'll bring back our Unizombie, and then from here we can use the Unizombie in order to send ourselves the Mizuki, or the Shinobi Necro, I'm sorry, as we'll activate the Bystial Magna Hut because we have the Shinobi Necro in graveyard, and then from here we can bring back the Shinobi Necro along with the effect of the Magna Hut, and then from there we can go into our Dispatter, think away into our Sprint, as we'll then be able to use the Sprint to send our Merly. The Merly can then get us into a Mud Dragon, as we're just going to put the Bystial Magna Hut back in deck, and from here we can use the Dispatter to bring back the Shinobi Necro, and now we have access into Immortal Dragon, which Immortal Dragon can get us a send for the Mizuki. Mizuki can then bring back the Spiridao, and then from here we have level 8 access, so we'll go into our Axel, as we'll be able to bring back the Shinobi, go into our Baron, and then we can just use the Omega in our graveyard to get a card back from our graveyard into our deck. So for this next combo, I'm going to be previewing another engine that we'll be using that you got a sneak peek at before, as we're going to activate the Sharon. We'll mill some, as I put the talents there so that we don't dilute the combo, but we'll get the search of the Ghost Fusion off the Sleeper, then we can activate the Axel, we'll go into our Immortal Dragon, use the effect of the Immortal Dragon sending the Mizuki, activate the Ghost Fusion, from there we can banish the level 6 in order to bring out the Garura, use the level 6 which will banish the Immortal Dragon, get itself back, use the effect of the Spiri in order to send the Unizombie, from here we can go into our Beatrice, use the effect of Beatrice which will send the Mizuki, from here we can get our draw 1 along with the revival for the Unizombie off the Mizuki. We'll activate the Unizombie now, which will be able to get us a send from our deck to the graveyard, which will send the Banshee. Now we'll activate the Mizuki, getting ourselves back the Banshee. We'll go into our Axel, the Axel can get its effect, which will revive the Assault Synchron, and now we can go into our Baron and activate our Necroworld Banshee in order to get us our Zombie World. Now onto the deck profile, and you'll see that it is a 60 card pile with 3 tunings and a 3 Assault Synchron, and this is just the heart of the deck in my opinion, next to the Punk stuff and the Tier Ishizu stuff, which is also important as it does help you milling. I'm playing the Small World in order to get into our important cards faster, like the Ghost Wyvern and the Assault Synchron. Magna Hut, amongst others, are also searchable this way, and the cool thing is that your level 3 hand traps are zombie tuners, so they can be used in order to make synchro plays and to bridge for Small World, as the Ghost Wyvern is a level 4. The options, you'll see that I'm not on the Allure of Darkness, and it's because we just play a lot more attributes than Dark, things considered, with the Earth, Fire, and Light cards in our deck. Then we also have the Shadow, Light, along with the Duality, and I just wouldn't bother playing these in this particular deck, because they feel more like bricks, a deck where you're already using an engine that can be a little bit bricky in itself with these cards here. And I would also like to talk about Super Poly amongst other board breakers. If you don't want to play hand traps, you can obviously just play board breakers, especially if they suit the format better. Sarga is another card that you can potentially play. It's a free special summon. It makes Boreas Storm a disruption, and it just allows for cooler plays. But the thing is that we don't happen to play a lot of level 4 2000 attack or higher monsters, so we aren't able to bring it out as easily as the Assault Synchron, and I just felt like playing the 3 tunings to get out the Assault Synchron was better overall. The Shiranui package is cool too, but at the same time it just feels like another pick, because we do have the Azalea, which is another card that you can now make a deck revolving around this. You can just put Sky Striker cards in here, maybe try to resolve those engages. It just doesn't make sense in this particular deck, because we don't want to put the extra deck space on Azalea, Kagari, and stuff like that. And there's the next new card, the Ghost Lancer. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Not be destroyed by battle, except with a monster special summoned from the extra deck. This card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. So it's a Cyber Dragon, but kind of worse because we can't contact fuse with this, and that's why I'm not playing it. It's not something that you can search outside of with Small World. It's not something that you can make useful going first. It completely relies on going second, and I just don't see the point of playing this. And there's the Stardust Synchron along with the Stardust Dragon. The Stardust Dragon does synergize with the Excel Synchron, which you can tribute off the Axel, bring out your Stardust and then be able to bring back the Axel with the Synchron, but we don't do that because of the extra deck space. There's also the Cheng Ying, and this is the Chaos Angel, which are other options that I would have liked to play, but the thing is that the extra deck space is so tight, and you do want that space for the Psychic and Punisher, and the Boreas Storm is important in itself because this deck is very dependent on what you draw and stuff, and sometimes this is just your backup plan if you can't go into your Immortal Dragon for whatever reason, you need another level 6, or if you happen to already use your Immortal Dragon and need access into another level 6 on your follow-up turns, that comes up a lot. Aside of that, I don't really have too much else to say. I guess maybe the Dark, and I do play the Dark over the other Synchros because it's just something that you can play around D-Barrier with, while also being able to send cards more easily to the graveyard without needing stricter requirements, so that's why that's there. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I'll get onto the deck profile as we have the 3 Tuning, the 3 E-Telly, the 3 Small World, Instant Fusion, Foolish Burial, Ghost Fusion, the 3 Ghost Wyvern, 3 Foxy Tune, 2 Xiamen and Deer Note, the 3 Assault Synchron, Agito, Kelbeck, Keldo, Tier Field Spell, Sharon, Merly, 3 Necroworld Banshee, Zombie World, the Ghost Sleeper, Unizombie, which is a search target, a send target off of Immortal Dragon or the Small World or Beatrice. Then we have the Shinobi Necro, then we have the 2 Mizukis, Zephyros, then we have the 2 Bellion, the 1 Branded Regain, the 1 Baldrake, the 1 Druis Worm, the 1 Saronir, the 3 Magna Hut, the 3 Ash Blossom, the 3 Ghost Bell, the 1 Balance, the 2 Thrust, and I play the 2 Thrust over the 2 Talents here because you just want to be able to search stuff like Foolish or the Instant Fusion, maybe even the Tuning or the Small World. And then we have the 3 Imperm to round out the main deck. To the extra deck, we have the 1 Mud Dragon, the 1 Garura, the 1 Drago Necro, the 1 Boreas Storm, the 1 Immortal Dragon, the 1 Omega, the 1 Axel, the 1 Baron, the 1 Dispatter, the Psychic and Punisher, Redoer, Beatrice, the Zombie Vampire, Sprind, and the Dark to round out the deck profile. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. It's Bones, signing out.